Hi, I'm Jonathan Smith with Prestige Yacht Sales. You can call or text me at 860-514-3763 or email me at jsmith@prestigeyahtsales.net. Today we're looking at a 2004 Beneteau 423, one of my favorite sailboat models. If you don't know, it's the best-selling Beneteau sailboat of all time for good reason. It's a two-cabin version. I think there's 1,400 hours on the Volvo diesel, has in-mast furling. The canvas is in good shape. Apparently there's some newer B&G electronics. It's my first time looking at this boat. So hey, let's go take a look. So we're taking a look at the port side. So it has all grip blue hull, a gold boot top stripe, and it looks like a goldish yellowy bottom. Kind of cool looking, it's different. Canvas, Dodger, Bimini connector, in-mast furling. I see wind instrument. There's also a gold cove stripe in the middle there. Marbella is the name. B&G electronics, see the radar mounted to the back stay. Right, I'm aboard the 423, and first thing I notice is it has synthetic teak throughout the cockpit. Really nice. Looks like Flexi Teak brand to me, but there's some other brands that are very similar. Notice the table leaves go up on both sides, and the varnish look pretty good. I got one down, one up, so you can see how that works. Big locker to starboard. It's really deep. There's a bunch of fenders in there. You can see the Flexi Teak all around, including on the captain's seat, which is folded away now. It gives you access to the swim platform, which also has it. Our outboard motor bracket. Not sure if the outboard's included. Got a question out. You got a life sling, horseshoe. Nice stern rail seats on the 423. You got one on each side with a cup holder, self-tailing, Lumar winches, 54s. This is a shallower locker. You also have these lockers in the corners of the seats aft on each side. And there's a propane locker. They give you spaces for 2 propane tanks, and there's 1 tank in there. So if you wanted to carry a spare tank, you could. There's only one right now. So we have some newer B&G electronics. You can kind of see them here. There is wind, and that's a multi-display that does speed, depth, wind, and then a MFD as well for your GPS chart plotter, radar, and there is a radar unit on the back stay. We have a Simrad autopilot here by the engine controls, and there's about 1,400 hours. I haven't turned it on, but that was reported to me. He does have a small portable solar panel that plugs in right here. He charges the batteries when you're away from the boat. The canvas looks good. Got a Dodger. The glass a little cloudy, but not too bad. You've got a connector in between that has a window in it, so you can open that up when you're sailing to see your sails, if you're going to sail with that in place. And same with up here on the Bimini. I'm looking at the zippers, the stitching. It all looks pretty good. Running rigging looks decent too. You can see there are lines here. They're pretty clean. Some of it's newer. You see that main sheet looks really good. A little breezy out here. You might hear the wind, but it's all part of boating, isn't it? Oh, look, the rats are stainless. I like that. They look good. Oh, there's that solar panel just laying out up here. The jib sheet looks good. Waste pump out up here on the deck. And by the way, the Beneteau decks are really good. Even though they're cored, wherever they mount heavy equipment, they put solid glass. So it's rare to find a lot of elevated moisture on these. The most likely places are around the stanchions if people grab onto those stanchions really hard and crack the deck. But I don't see that on this boat. Yeah, we got a Horizon Express windlass. Here's our controller, and I see actually quite a bit of chain in there and some road underneath. Look at the specs. I put the listing details, a link to the listing details below in the description, and that's where you'll find the price. We are pricing this boat better than the others. because it doesn't have air conditioning and bow thruster. But you know what? Neither do some of the others. But we just wanted to price it good, make it very competitive. So if you go look at that price, I think you'll be impressed. And of course, if you really need air conditioning or a bow thruster, that's all stuff that's fairly easy to install. There's companies that specialize that, and they do it all day long. So if you decided to do that, at least you know you're starting with fresh stuff. You know, a boat of this age, 20 years old, if it has air conditioning, it may be tired and ready for replacement anyways if it hasn't been replaced already. So just keep that in mind. Now, there is a command mic here for the VHF as well. But if you're looking for a really well-built, terrific boat, these Beneteau 423s are hard to beat. They're just a terrific value these days. All right, you're taking a look with me for the first time. And it's always nice when you look down below. First thing, when you open the companionway and there's no weird smells. I don't have any funky smells at all in this boat. The cushions look good. They've been replaced. That is not original factory. It's dark blue with white piping. And then I also noticed some nice cockpit cushions, which I didn't know it had, but here they are. And that's really nice, especially in that nice cockpit. You put those out and everybody's comfortable. Everybody's smiling. The cockpit sole looks pretty good. And notice we do have a bench seat. So you have dining. There's a leaf, by the way, that goes in the table. The table opens up and becomes bigger, slides open with a leaf. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 around that table, easy. Nice settee to port for hanging around, reading a book, whatever. Big flat screen TV on the bulkhead. Another thing I noticed, and it's something to look for on any of the Beneteaus from this era, is some of them had cracking countertops. Not that it's the end of the world, but you see it a lot, and I do not see any cracks on this countertop. And it could be that it's been replaced, as many have. So something to look at. You do have a deep freezer and a front-loading fridge. Some storage for glasses. Storage here. This boat is in use, so that's why you're seeing their stuff. Here's some outlets. 2 basin stainless sink. You got a 3-burner propane stove with an oven. A more dry storage bin here. So terrific galley. I would call it a U-shaped galley, so you've got things to lean against if you're underway, heeling over, and it makes it more stable when underway for preparing food. And you're right here with your guests, so you can prepare food and talk to everybody. The 423s have a forward-facing nav station with a proper size table for charts if you still use them. Down here, I do see a B&G multifunction display for your speed, depth. Here's our VHF. There is that remote mic at the helm for that. And we've got a number, these were added after, a number of USB ports added for charging phones. And there's a 12-volt outlet for some chargers or a spotlight or whatever. Our electrical panel. And there is an inverter, I see. All right, let's go forward. Owner's stateroom. Another reason to like the Beneteau 423 is the forward island style berth. Big bench to port, to sit down, put your shoes on. Plenty of storage. And you have your own head. So separate, I guess, I could call it a separate shower side of the head. Old door right here, and it connects into those brackets. And this drops down, so if you want to extend your shower area, you can have a seated shower by dropping that lid over the toilet. And it is an electric flush toilet. Mirror. You know, the nice thing is it doesn't smell at all. Some heads, you walk in and you just want to walk right out. This one doesn't have any odors, which is nice to see. Marbella. Looking aft. I just love these 423s. Somebody actually asked me recently, if you were to buy a sailboat, what would you buy? And I said, I'd buy a 423. There's quite a few of them out there. They're just the right size for what most people want to do. Here's our AC panel. And this is the kind of boat where you don't have that extra stuff, you know. But if you want to add it, you could add a generator. I wouldn't. I'd go more for solar panels. That's what everybody's doing these days. Actually, here's another solar panel. We saw that there was one laying out there, and here's a second one. So apparently when he leaves the boat on the mooring here, he only needs one panel to keep the batteries charged. So nice aft stateroom. Like I said, it's a 2-cabin version, light switches, storage, and this connects to its own head as well. So 2 bedrooms, 2 bathroom, floating summer cottage. I like it. That's why I like the 423, and it's probably why it was the best-selling Beneteau of all time. All right, while we're looking around here, I want to tell you about one more thing. The way these boats were built, and are still built, not only Beneteau, Jeanneau's, Catalina's, most modern sailboats, they have a solid glass hull. So you're not going to get moisture in the core of the hull because there is no core in the hull. And then to give the hull stiffness, they build a big structure they call the grid. And it's one piece of like grids and stringers. You can actually see a little bit of it kind of coming down right there. That's part of the grid. And while the hull is still in the mold, they take that big grid piece, which is a big fiberglass structure, and they bond it to the inside of the hull. And they use this brittle adhesive filler. And I mean, yeah, fiberglassing it all together with tabbing would be a better way to do it, but it would add hours and hours to the job, and it would make these boats a lot more expensive. Now, that said, when somebody runs into a rock or runs aground, the keel can flex the hull and cause that bonding agent to crack and break. And I've seen it on a lot of modern boats. And when it happens, it's an expensive job to repair it and to repair it right. And when I say repair it right, you want to do it the way Nick Saheen does it. He's a local fiberglass shop. He's done a lot of Beneteaus, and I've sold a lot of Beneteaus that he's done that repair on. And what he does is he fiberglasses in the grid. It's an expensive job, but at the end of the day, you end up with a far superior boat. It'll be like this one has had that done. And honestly, it's a better boat after having it done. I actually know a guy who bought a Beneteau 323 new, and the first thing he did was bring it to Nick Saheen, and he had him fiberglass the whole grid in place, brand new. Boat hadn't even seen water yet. That's the story with this boat. I think it makes the boat better. It'll be a lot stiffer and actually a lot more resilient if you do have another grounding. Once again, I'm Jonathan Smith with Prestige Yacht Sales. You can call or text me at 860-514-3763 or email me at jsmith@prestigeyahtsales.net. Thanks for looking at this really nice 2004 Beneteau 423 with me. Decent boat. Hey, I spoke with the owner, and the dinghy and outboard are not included, so I was unsure about that, but he and I were able to text while I was in there showing you the boat. All the details for the listing are down below in the description, so check it out. All right, hope to hear from you soon.